It's another Thursday. Good night, Sri Lanka.
Good night, Sri Lanka, and we are back.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for another fabulous event of Good Night Sri Lanka. And it's another Thursday night. It's a very, very important week.
Yes, just before the big day.
It's the big day in just less than 48 hours, as a matter of fact.
I know.
And
the city of Colombo seems very, very
calm
calm.
and collective.
Yeah.
It's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see.
There was very less traffic on my way back.
Right.
But usually at that time there is like Parliament Udinan traffic. Ne?
Yeah, I think tomorrow lots of schools, obviously, almost all schools are closed.
Schools are closed.
All schools are closed.
Give a holiday for schools tomorrow.
Which is good.
Tomorrow, I think everybody who is living outstation has to go
Right.
half day.
Right.
They have to allow half day, and so like it's basically everybody has gone already.
Depending on the kilometers, actually.
Yeah, 40 kilometers, no?
Yeah, so 40 it's half day, and then if it's over 150, it's 1.5 days and things like that.
Right, okay. But big deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's the presidential election. Everybody going to the polling booths to vote for the 9th president of Sri Lanka. And over the last couple of weeks, we obviously seen the contestants campaigning at a rate, rallies, massive crowds at different rallies in different parts of Sri Lanka. And yesterday, midnight yesterday, was of course the cutoff for all campaigning. So since that's done, we are not going to talk about any contestants. No candidates. No candidates spoken about. But
No, nothing.
Nothing.
yeah, but we'll talk about it. We're not promoting anybody here.
Slide.
We'll talk about it.
Touch and go.
But the thing is this, right? It's honestly speaking, everybody's talking about the fact that how this election is possibly the most important election of our lives so far.
Wow.
Right? There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure because there are a fair amount of new voters, first-time voters, individuals who have actually have lived through the social media era. It's pretty much the case. The guys who've actually born right into it. And more people obviously voting right now who have never experienced the world without social media.
Yeah. That's
So the social media is their world compared to the old croonies like us, where, our world was...
Speak for yourself.
How's that, my God? Onna 40.
Both my kids were 18 plus several years ago.
Right.
But I think this time around, Shaq, the Gramasevaka Nidadaris, and they were really behind the families who had adult children.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because all these days they have not even been bothered to go and register themselves.
Yeah.
Or to go and insert their name in the Namalekana.
Right.
Nothing. But this time it actually happened.
Okay.
Because they actually found out from their database and they sent in the application forms. And since I live in two places, right? So first I had the option of selecting from Raghava, right? And then knowing that we were in Colombo and we had an address there, they decided to send a letter saying if you don't reply to this letter within a course of a period of time, we will consider you as you want to be in the register of Colombo.
Right.
And your Ragamohan will get cancelled.
Right.
So it was very methodical.
Right.
And this particular generation that we are talking about right now will be so much under the influence of their parents because they hardly know. You ask them how many candidates are there, they will not know that, nor would many of us.
Yeah.
Ask them who are you going to vote to? Who's actually running for it?
I actually beg to differ, Christian. I think that particular era was us growing up. We really didn't know. We were actually, but today, trust me, the youth of Sri Lanka are very well informed compared to how we were.
This I'm talking about the gap shack between 18 who just matured as broiler chicken.
Right, okay.
From 18
from a broiler chicken.
Right,
from broiler chicken to curry chicken. Right.
Maybe about 2021.
Right.
They are still unemployed.
Yeah.
They are still depending on their parents.
Yeah.
They are still depending, doing their higher studies. Right. So this particular crowd, I think, still dependent on what the parents have to say. But there onwards, right? And for people who are not in that category,
Right.
looking for jobs, right, fed up of the system, yes, they will. I'm sure what you're saying is correct.
And very well informed, because obviously, social media is there. And then again, I think we saw this back in 2019. The election campaigns were heavily on social media, and likewise again, 2024 elections heavily on social media. And I think just a few weeks ago I saw an exorbitant amount of money that's actually been spent on social media campaigning into a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So
it has to move on, right, like that.
obviously at the end of the day. So yeah, it's going to be very decisive for each and every one of us, and it's going to be I know lots of people are actually on pins, as a matter of fact, not knowing what's going on. And the other thing, of course, is the fact that lots of people are pretty unsure on how to vote. You know, it's the first time I've actually experienced this uncertainty on how to vote.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, people are like, okay, what happens if you put 1, 2, and 3? And I think because the fact that the candidates right now, candidates who are actually in the top 3, I suppose, it's understandable that nobody is actually going to get a majority.
Yeah.
Right? So 50 plus 1 is a majority, and then you're automatically declared a winner. But now it looks like none of them are going to get a majority. That's why the preferential votes are going to actually play a big role in deciding who the next president is going to be. Yeah, so I mean, and the thing is this, it has always been there. It is
not the first time.
No, it's all. That's why I think this is the first time.
I think the second count will go for the first time, I suppose, in a long time.
I think so. Yeah, I think this is the first time the preferential vote is actually going to be not counted. It's going to actually hold the key. You know, will make a difference. So let's see how things are. But yeah, it's next couple of days is going to be very, very exciting, very, very interesting. But most importantly, if you've got your voting cards, your polling cards or whatever, please vote.
Yeah, vote,
right?
vote.
It's very unfortunate that I still come across people who are very disillusioned about what's going on right now, who still feel I think there's
still a majority of them still floating.
Yeah.
They'll float until the last minute.
They'll walk to the polling station floating.
Pass the gas cut.
Anyway, we got a couple of good stuff happening as always on the show on GNSL. Shaq, Andy, Christian. Every Thursday night we come to you live on Facebook on a PodHUB platform, and of course do everything. I mean, just talk about stuff that we love as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. It's a land that keeps on giving. We have lots to talk about as always. We have an interview a very special interview that's also going to be coming up on the show, and it's a young lady who's actually one of the contestants who's hoping to represent Sri Lanka at Miss Universe. So we're going to be talking to her also on the show later on today, and an opportunity for everybody watching. You have a chance to actually vote for her. Not only vote for the president, you can vote also for her. And for as far as she's concerned, we can campaign for her. Right, no problem on that one. Yeah, so we can do all that. Anyway, it's time for us to get into our first segment of the show. As always, lots happened in Lanka last week. Let's find out. Okay, Lanka last week is all about some of the important news items that we consider important, that we want to talk about.
We consider, that's the main point.
That's the most important thing, right? Forget the media stations, what we consider important. What we consider important is what is important. All right, what do we have as far as our first news item happened? Increase the penalty for fraudulent voting. Yeah. That is something that, of course, happens almost every election.
All the time.
Fraudulent voting. But I still don't understand how they get away with it. You know?
They check like a million things. The NIC,
Now, I mean,
so many things you check, right? The NIC, then you try to read out that name, which is very fun if you have a burger name.
Yeah.
You become Anderson, I think, at the end. I don't know what happens.
Marianne, Anderson, Bal.
Miss Mama.
What's your full name, Andy? What's your full name? No, come on. What's your full? What have you registered your name in the polling card?
As per my NIC,
Yeah.
Andreen, Jacqueline, Balthazar.
And
Good luck.
Andreen, Jacka.
Jacqueline, Bala Teresa.
Bala Teresa.
Bala Teresa. There you go.
Inna. Yeah, but fraudulent, of course, penalty, increase the penalty for fraudulent voting. I was just talking about it earlier on that, I've got, I don't know, I've got 8 extra polling cards.
If somebody comes and knocks on your door,
Not for me, but it's my dad who's not there anymore, my mom, my sisters, my brother, and the thing is this.
now you're plentiful.
Yeah, you just have to keep it locked.
I think the system that they do it is not basically individually one of us doing and doing it. No, you can't do that. I think what happens really is it's all a setup inside.
Oh.
Every representative has one person inside
Yeah.
to observe.
Yeah.
So it happens in such way that individually, if we try to do it personally, taking your sister's one, because you don't have the paper with you,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? So without the paper, either you get it printed beforehand and hide it with you, and then collect now, for example, if you have 8
Yeah. Polling
6
cards.
polling cards that come
Yeah.
to your house, if that is collected by one of them,
Right.
they can take those and do some jugglery.
Yeah,
and have
yeah,
those 8 papers going in from their pocket.
Yeah, I
Pre-printed.
ensured I locked all that 8 away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
no need to worry about
Let's just leave it out. Unfortunately, it's not going to be used. It's unfortunate. It's not going to be used. They are not the ones who are going to fly down, vote and go back. No, they're not going to be doing that. All right. Anyway, what do we have next? Lanka last week. The next topic that happened last week. E-passports will launch next month.
They're gung-ho with this.
Yeah, I know. So now the first batch of e-passports. This is a funny thing. First batch of e-passports will be launched. Right?
2 days later.
But there won't be any chips in those. Now, this passport, supposedly, this e-passport, the little light that's been shed on this e-passport is the fact that it comes with a little chip.
Yeah.
I don't know what this chip is for, right? But the first batch of the e-passport, the chip is not there. So I don't know.
They have questions now.
Yeah, we just, everybody has questions about this e-passport, right? I don't think the people who even thought about the e-passport have
it's through.
any idea what the e-passport is all going to be. But unfortunately, there are individuals
But they're very excited about it.
highly excited. There,
E-passport.
huh?
TKE.
Chike passport.
TKE passport.
What is that word? What are you saying?
So we have that. That's we're looking forward for the launch of the e-passport because there are so many people who are still standing in line to get a hold of passports.
Still on?
But
I
no,
think
no,
so.
it is. Funny story. Just today, towards the evening when I walked out of office, one of my friends joined me, right? And he's like, I'm gonna stand in the queue from tonight
Really?
to get a number at the passport office. So I was like, you know what, I live close by. If you want to have a change of clothes or whatever, just come and
I thought you were going to volunteer to stand
no,
for him.
No, I have a show to do, sir. Just keep
For
quiet.
when is this?
For tomorrow,
tomorrow,
to get a number. He's standing in the queue from tonight.
Wow.
Real jokes aside. And he's ready for it. He's got a little backpack.
And tomorrow,
He's ready. So I said, if you want some food, come.
Only for the poor people to find out tomorrow they've all gone for voting.
Yeah, now don't tell that, Tani. No. Don't worry. Don't worry.
You stay.
You stay where you are.
You register that spot. Next card will come there for your elections. So it's crazy. I mean, you had to feel sorry for those individuals who are standing there in lines and they come there like at wee hours of the morning or late night, or they're there for 24 hours. It's ridiculous. Anyway, next item on our list today. Grade 5 scholarship exam paper leak. This is a big story, and the CID has also got involved in this. And there's a huge, the parents be obviously protesting and so on and so forth. I know.
Paper to leak,
So, Christian, explain this scholarship exam, year 5 scholarship exam.
So basically, what has happened is the first three questions
Right
have got out.
Right.
It got social media and so on. So the latest news that I heard is it's very simple. The examination department has decided to cancel the first 3 questions.
And then we have put new 3.
No, you don't. You give the marks from the balance.
Okay, so only the first 3 questions have gone out, not the entire paper.
No. Only the first 3 questions.
Right.
You
Okay.
mark with the rest.
Yeah, you mark with you forfeit the 3.
Okay.
And then divide the marks from the balance.
Okay.
No pressure, no.
How did they manage to basically leak those first 3 questions? When you're not allowed to take in phones and whatnot.
No, it probably would have been. There are people who set the questions. No,
Yeah, we're just speculating here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it could have been a wild guess,
Right.
So similar 3 questions would have been out there, and that happened to be in the paper. Unfortunately, that could be one instance.
Right.
The other instance is probably one of the people who set the paper, would have given it to the tuition class children.
Yeah.
Like that, or it would have got leaked from the printer. You never know.
Yeah. There's so many ways.
Yeah,
So many different ways of
We
doing
had
it.
a year 5
Or
student.
it
Child.
could be a complete coincidence.
How important is a year 5 scholarship exam for a child?
It is the holy grail.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
For more rural areas,
For more rural areas, not for the Colombo schools.
Mm.
Not for Colombo, where in this area. Not for them because they're already in a good school. But you won't believe there are schools from close vicinity like Gampaha, Jal, Kandana, even those places. The kids, they are forced to do it because they can come to either number 1 is Royal, then Anand and Anand. So they get the chance of sitting in, which is absolutely free,
Right.
Your entire education for the rest of your advanced level,
Right.
scholarships are free, The scholarship awards is given and they are taken to a government school. It's absolutely free.
Right.
You don't have to spend anything, but unfortunately you spend much more than that on tuition.
Yeah.
You can't call it free education anymore
Right.
because you spend much more money at
Preparing the child for the.
No, even after that check. Now you get a school. You say you got the best results and you went to Royal.
Right.
Aren't you going to send your kid for extra tuition?
That's true.
You will have
That's
to
true.
know.
Yeah.
It will be very rare. One of those kids would be,
Super smart.
super smart and manage with the school
Yeah.
curriculum itself. Unless he's really a bright spark. Otherwise, it's tuition, and how costly it's that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do we not know?
2 hour class can go up to 5,000, 8,000, even to 10,000.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
it should be, tuition master.
That tax free, baby.
No, they pay tax.
They pay tax. They pay.
They pay it.
But Malika pays tax.
Who Malika?
No one.
Okay, next one. Here we go. The next item that we have for you, boxes of matches distributed with candidates' image in Nuwara. So, yeah, obviously this is during the whole campaigning process that took place just before it wound down last night. So that's different ways of obviously campaigning. I don't know if that was legal or illegal. I don't know what the story was.
You can't publicize anything after midnight yesterday.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. This was before.
Right? This was before.
Before.
Yeah.
But then it has to be destroyed.
Oh, really?
So boxer matches you can use for a while. No?
Oh.
And it's very strategic, because places like Nuwara,
You need the boxer matches.
Boxer matches, for, sometimes at least 10, 15 times a day they have to write something. No?
Yeah, that's true.
So every time you write it, you see the candidate's face.
Good one, no? Good strategy.
It's amazing marketing fellow probably, who had a smart idea.
Next one we have for you. Campaigning for presidential election ended on the 18th. That was midnight last night, and some massive crowds in almost.
There was one in Navala.
There's one in Nugegoda,
Massive one.
huge one in Nugegoda. Yep.
One in Mardana.
Madana.
Yep. I mean, all obviously basically had huge crowds. So yeah,
Those from day before.
really?
Yeah. They were put at tent එක ගන්න යනවා නේ. පාර හරස් කරලා ගහන්නේ tent එක.
Yeah, all main roads were closed. I mean, they're all open now, so don't worry about it. Next one. Sri Lankan Airlines introduces new pre-order meal service for economy class. I think this is a great idea.
I like it.
I think it's a really good one.
10 points.
Yeah, and where you know,
As long as some incident like my uncle happened.
but your uncle happened,
Even before this setup,
right?
you can go online
Right.
And order?
and place your meal. For the longest time they had this, but you have to go online and then pre-order it.
No, but at that time you had a pre-order. I mean, what you order is either a kid's meal,
No,
a
what's on that?
vegetarian meal.
So you get some only prefer Asian vegetables. එහෙම තියෙනවනේ කට්ටිය ඉන්න කට්ටිය.
Ah, really?
Vegetables.
Yeah, එහෙමයි කට්ටිය ඉන්නවා. So he had ordered everything. He's very, he plans his tour way long before time, right?
Right.
So when the hostess brought the meal, there was a piece of chicken or beef or whatever,
yeah, okay.
right?
Meat,
right? And she has very politely said, "I'm sorry, I had ordered a vegetarian."
Right.
Oh, that's all right, sir. Let me take the piece of chicken away.
True, no, what he said. You don't like me. Let me take that piece of meat from you. I think she's right.
What's your uncle?
Oh dear.
No, but I think that's a great idea. In where you can, because there are lots of people obviously who I think majority of us don't really like airline food. Do you guys like airline food?
No.
Well, if it's coming from business class, yes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
also
economy
true.
folk.
We are economy folk where we can't basically stretch our leg folk.
Yeah.
That's it.
ඒක නිකන් අර මහා කැලණික ගැටි පොල් මුණ්ඩක්
The only perk of being short is the fact that you can sit in a airplane.
Yeah, that's true. And have you also realized, right? Now, for example, wherever you sit, economy or business or first, I mean, mainly economy. Forget business because you only have your own cubicles or whatever, right? You can recline your seat.
to a certain extent.
Yeah, obviously, to the extent that it's allowed to be reclined, right? And it's not wrong to do it.
No, but with other men suffocating
No, but the
behind you.
thing is this, right? That's the problem here, right?
Not during the meal, though.
No, not during the meal. What I'm saying is, right now, how many of you, right now, when you see the seat in front, basically coming back, you're like, the bloody hell is this? No, but the guy can do it. He
But you have to scold him.
You can do it to the guy behind you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, you can also do it to the guy behind you, right? But you still have that automatically, just like the bloody hell. Now I had to move. The TV screen and food there, that, this, and that. But it's his right, right?
No. Sorry.
Why? No, you don't like it?
No, of course not. It's in my face.
Yeah, but
So you have to go back then.
I back in the last
You're the luckiest man. ඔයාගේ අඩුපාඩු දිග නැහැනේ.
No, but I have other things.
Imagine a
around
tall
me.
guy or a big mate guy sitting there. You were
You
right.
should get the middle seat. Oh joy.
oh my God, hate the middle seat. Absolutely
Oh
hate
my
the
God,
middle
because-
seat.
And if you know two people, like this, if the two people beside you know each other,
It's the worst. Mine. Forget. Lots of people obviously like the window seat, right? It's okay, fine, yeah. But you have to understand the window.
Reserve also not
Window seat is only good when you can
during check-in.
take off or land. Apart from that, there's nothing much.
just white cloud or whatever.
And the aisle seat, aisle seat of course is my favorite because.
Aisle is the better one.
But the only problem is that you'll have to get up where you get people walking in and walking out of the seats and all that stuff.
Really tired after a long day, then you're flying back home or something like that. අර මේ වින්ඩෝ සීට් එකේ ඉන්න එකෙක් අර රෑතිස්සේ අරකට අරගෙන ඒකත් අරගෙන ලයිට් එකකුත් දාගෙන මොන හරි කියෝකේ ඉන්නකොට කොහමද
සැප කොහමද?
Okay, what do we have next? We have an interview also that's we're just about to start. Just quickly go in. Christian, this one's for you. Booze during polls only for tourists in star class hotels.
I mean, that's all right because everything is sorted at home.
It's
It doesn't matter at all.
the thing is this, right? In Sri Lanka, elections is a party.
Yeah, it's a party.
Is a party.
overnight party.
It's an overnight. Lots of set වෙනවා, right? ආදෙනවාද, වා කීර දෙන්නේ, මොකක්ද ගේන්නේ, right? That's so it's a party, right? Where in the world can you actually sit with your friends in front of the TV, have something to drink, have something to eat, enjoy, clap and watch elections?
Of course.
Right? I mean, you're not even watching a match.
Yeah.
It's the same attitude that you're going to watch a match.
Just another excuse to get together with the boys.
Yeah, that's it. So now
එකට දෙකට විතර ඔක්කොම
imagine the lines at all the wine shops tomorrow, because Saturday Sunday is closed.
Yeah.
So
And the most fun is those is when we were small was the movie. So I have to have friends say,
it's the same darn movie every election, man.
45 minutes Pratipala.
Yeah.
And then runs and goes in and goes out. 45 minutes later you have to remember what happened. The next 5 minutes is that.
but back in the day I remember when I was a kid, right? Election time.
Yeah.
Now either was sort of higher TV තිවරයි.
Yo.
No overnight TV.
Yeah.
But they used to show the best of movies during
Yes,
this
yes.
election time.
Yeah.
And the kids actually waited not for the elections to see the movie.
Just the 5 minutes is all you
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
And you remember
My
the next 5 minutes and the
goodness,
next 45 minutes.
මෙන්න තවත් ඡන්ද ප්‍රතිඵල.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Happy elections, everybody. Okay, what do we have next? Quickly, we're going to run through. Schools closed for election tomorrow and reopen on Monday. So, obviously, lots of the schools are being used as polling stations, and also they're used to actually count the votes, so to say. So, those are the interesting things that actually happened in Lanka last week. As we are basically done with that, and we're moving into more interesting stuff right here on the show. So, we have Sonali online. Hi, Sonali. Hello.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
How are you?
I'm good. So excited to be joining you.
Thank you
guys
so
are
much.
so chirpy and excited for 9:30 p.m. I need to match this energy.
Yeah.
You turned out to be a very bright spark of light.
Oh, thank you. I tried.
Otherwise,
Trying not to be
otherwise,
exhausted, so.
yeah. Otherwise, we're just stuck with these old croonies here. Okay, Sonali. Firstly, congratulations for being a part of the pageant, and so you are basically one of the contestants who are vying to be Miss Universe for Miss Sri Lanka. Sorry, Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe. There we are. Okay. So, so can you just share a little about your journey in becoming Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe and how the process actually does work?
Oh, like the process of the pageant? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a process of you getting into the pageant. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I've been working on gender equality for my entire adult career. My whole professional experience has been in gender equality, specifically with a focus on public health. And at the same time, I put myself through uni by modeling very young as well. I think I started about like 16. So those two worlds are, I'm equally passionate about both of them. I think they both bring me like so much joy, and this is like the happy marriage of both of that. And I've never actually been a part of any other pageant, so I'm very brand new to pageantry. So I was very excited to just suss the vibes and see if it's for me. I've been modeling for about 10 years now, and the fashion world isn't something necessarily that you need to have. You can be opinionated, and I think it's definitely evolving. But I think with a pageant, especially like Miss Universe, and the title that it gives you, it also gives you that platform to really speak about what you're working on without any red tape around how you should talk about things. It's always about the person and the personality and what did they care about. So it's kind of liberating in that sense, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm leaning towards that, and I think it's going to open up a different channel for communication, especially when it comes to my advocacy work. Yeah. So the process is you audition.
Yeah.
The pageant is brand new. The pageant was gone for the last 5 years. The last contestant was actually a friend. She's also from the modeling world, Onela Gnsl, and she won Miss Congeniality, which is fantastic and so brilliant for Sri Lanka. But then after that, it was gone for 5 years, and it's the first year that it's back now. So we had auditions, and they were nationwide. A lot of people came to the preliminaries. I mean, it was a long line of girls. We had interviews, and then they do the runway and how best you can present yourself and your advocacy, because they're really looking for like an all-rounder. So there was a series of auditions, and then so now we're at the top 18, and soon we're going through mini pageants. We've just had the swim one. We had a mini pageant in traditional wear. Tomorrow we're going to have one about nature and some sort of service to the climate action efforts. And then the finale is on the 27th, which is going to be the crowning moment, and hopefully I get the crown. So, that's the process.
Are you by any chance part of the debating team?
I think I have some maybe Italian heritage. I don't know. I've been noticing this because lately I've been doing a lot of like interviews and talking for videos, and whenever I play them back, it's like I'd always talk with my hands. So yeah, maybe I'm Italian in another life.
Have you come across people who do air quotes?
Yeah,
Oh my God, I really can't stand them. I can't stand this. But do you know? I thought. Just shut up. No thoughts.
This is it. I mean, that's okay. This is like a dance that I need to sit on my hands.
You're like, very artistic, so it adds to what you say.
Sonali, what does it mean to represent Sri Lanka on the global stage for you? I mean, obviously there is a process till you get crowned, and there is a voting process. We'll talk about that. But for you, what does it mean to actually represent Sri Lanka on the global stage?
I think it will be phenomenal. So I do represent Sri Lanka on the global stage as a young leader. I'm also the co-chair of a movement called She Decides. It's very specific. They look for young people that are working in developing countries that work very and access to safe abortion. So these like very controversial topics that you don't necessarily find. Hello? Yeah. So you don't necessarily find young people being vocal on social media in these countries. We sort of like upskill them, and they facilitate your participation at things like the UN General Assembly, the World Health Assembly, and they make sure that you're in the right places where policymakers are. So in that context, I have represented Sri Lanka as a young leader and also the chair of this movement. This would be a brand new experience where I wouldn't just be showing one aspect of who I am. It would be the whole package. And I think pageantry is kind of like sports in that way. Like it has a really good, it's a good opportunity to bring people together. Like you just people will rally around something that represents Sri Lanka. And I'm very excited. Like if that could be me, that would be phenomenal. And yeah, if I were to actually take part in the global pageant, I definitely would want to showcase that when you think of a Sri Lankan woman, you should be thinking of someone that's intelligent and beautiful and can communicate her message, and like your colleague said, is like a ray of sunshine. So I hope they're synonymous with me for that. Yeah.
So pressure is no problem for you in that case, because you obviously represented Sri Lanka on the global stage in different aspects of your life. Is there pressure on you?
I think the pageant, definitely. I mean, you feel like you're like a little bit under the microscope, because it's also not just like, in the past it's always been like, what do I say, and like how clear is my message, but here it's like, what are you wearing, how are you carrying yourself, and a lot of like things that are non-verbal communications, like how how poised you are and how graceful you are in when you have adversity, because you're being judged from the whole time, like the moment they announce you're a finalist, and in every appearance at a mini pageant, how well you engage with the national director, how well you engage with like the choreographer. And we're very lucky to have like a top-notch choreographer and national director this year. We have Miss Rosandais, who was already a Miss Universe and represented the country, so she knows what she's talking about, and she's very delicate and loving with us. So there's a lot of pressure in the sense that there's only so few people, and now it's very close to the end, and there's a lot of things to get ready, and it's not only about like what you're talking about, it's also like the whole pageantry setup. So yeah.
So great. So I have a quick question on your work, your advocacy work, right?
Okay.
Third world country, extremely important in this day and age to talk about, the topic that you do speak about. How is the take about it in the society that we are in right now?
I'm so sorry. Could you face towards the mic? I'm like having a little trouble hearing you.
All right, so I'm going to look this way. Just now that I'm not ignoring you. I just want to get.
You can ask me. You can ask me the question.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at the mic. But in this day and age, right? Your topic is extremely of paramount importance. How does it resonate with the Sri Lankans or the young women now? Do they take it well, or do they still take it with a pinch of salt? Because it's a bit of a taboo conversation still, I believe. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I've been working on this for the last 6.5 years, and I think I've seen a change, definitely gradual, but even recently, like about a week ago, I did a morning show in Sinhala where I was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I don't know how the backlash is going to be about it, but there wasn't. It was actually very positive messages of like, yeah, we're thinking the same, we agree with you, we think this is a necessity, especially when we recently had cases of rape, especially grave rape, and we were all sort of like rallying around something needs to change with regards to sexual reproductive rights and justice. So there's a consensus about it. What I think people in the past, particularly young women, have been struggling to engage with it, because there's always this question of like, why do you want to talk about it? Is it because you experience it? Does it have something to do with you? Like that sort of they didn't want to be associated with something like that. But I think the more that young women are talking about it, the more it becomes okay for them to talk about. So with what I'm doing, which is mostly like advocating about why we need to do it, and like mostly talking with the maybe middle, like not necessarily with the opposition. I engage more with people that are just curious to know why I'm supporting something like this, and why am I interested in it, both from a professional perspective, but also as a young woman in Sri Lanka. Like, why do you want to engage with this topic? And when you engage with your audience in that way, it's more of like, there's a willingness to learn from them, not only to know for themselves, but also I've seen a ripple effect of like, they're okay to then talk to their friends about it. So I see that change happening gradually. And I do see myself like being invited to places that I did not think that they would be interested to talk about abortion rights and sex education. But here I am, I was there, and I was like, okay, there's policymakers here, there's like minority religious leaders, and I was like, well, are you sure? Because I talk about comprehensive sex education and abortion rights. So I've caught myself a couple of times being like, I'm also surprised to be here. So yeah, I see a change. I definitely see a change, and I think the more women talk about it, the more easier it's going to be. And I think there's a lot of consensus that we need to address it in some way. Yeah.
What message do you want to convey to young girls in Sri Lanka who aspire to follow in your footsteps? Not necessarily the pageant, but also the work that you do outside the pageant.
Yeah, I think I do have a lot of young girls that reach out, especially like with regards to trying to get an education, and I think they're also sometimes very interested to learn how to put themselves forward and talk, and like be a sort of like forward-going person. And that's also like something that I share often with them. Like, I wasn't always like this. Like I wasn't always just like chatty Cathy, like it's something that I developed over time. The more sure I got with myself and who I am as a person and what I stand for and what I don't stand for, the more I set those boundaries for myself. Like even small things. It started very small, like if I wanted to wear something that I thought was beautiful, but maybe in Sri Lanka they don't dress up that much. but like, there's so many ways that you mute yourself as a young woman, and I think that practice starts very small, but unfortunately it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, you tend to mute yourself even when you're discussing big issues, and even when your voice is essential and matters and you should speak up. So my advice to them would be, use your creative expression, whether it's with what you're wearing, whether it's what you want to say, whether it's right or wrong, whatever it is that you want to say. It's just important for you to say it. Like, that's the most important thing. And that sort of, again, has a ripple effect. So yeah, that would be the best advice that I could give a young person watching.
So if you win the title, how do you plan to use this platform to make a difference in Sri Lanka or globally? I mean, I sound like a pageant announcer here.
Yes.
No, if you win this title, what do you plan to do with this title? How are you going to make a difference?
How are you going to bring about world peace?
Yeah, how do you bring about world peace?
I think this is. Are you secretly a judge? Am I being judged right now? If I win this title, I think I go back to why I wanted to do it in the first place. I'm looking for a platform, especially in Sri Lanka. Like, I've spoken around the world as the co-chair of She Decides. I've been in rooms with during my presentations and my speeches, the audience has been like extremely noble. They've been presidents, prime ministers, the executive directors of big organizations. But I haven't had that same chance in Sri Lanka to talk to Sri Lankan girls and Sri Lankan young people without, any sort of red tape around what I'm allowed to say and how I'm allowed to express myself. So I've been really looking for a platform that would give me that with the inclusivity that Miss Universe has. So, for example, they allow people that are transgender to take part in the pageant. There's no age limit. You can be married, you can be unmarried. There's so many improvements in what that pageant used to be to what it is now. So I really see myself aligning a lot with the pageant. And I think in Sri Lanka, again, like I said, like, pageantry and sports is really uniting for a lot of communities, regardless of ethnicity, race, caste, religion. So I want, over time for that to be the same with the Miss Sri Lanka pageant. And if I am to be the Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe 2024, one of the big things that I would be doing well into my reign is to make sure that, the next queen that we have will be someone from a minority community, maybe from the vulnerable groups, because we've never actually had a Miss Sri Lanka from any of the minority communities. And that would be huge for them and huge for us as well, because in the long run, what we're essentially doing is empowering women with a voice. So if we are to get women from that community, they would be then representing those issues as well. So yeah, it would be just busting open the door to, a lot of change.
We actually had a question that actually popped up. There we go. From Azra, one of our viewers. Do you support the legalization of abortion rights in Sri Lanka?
Absolutely. I support the legalization of abortion rights in Sri Lanka because this is not only relevant to Sri Lanka. I want to say that because abortion is illegal doesn't mean it's not happening. There are so many instances where unsafe abortions happen, where women don't have access to the essential healthcare needs because of, the criminality of abortion rights here. And when you think of, for example, for the instance of rape, which is what I brought up in the previous interview as well, it's like, how can that be okay that a woman is more likely to be criminalized for seeking abortion than her rapist to be convicted of the rape? So if that's the setting that we're in, it doesn't sit right with me that women can't decide what they want to do with their bodies, whether or not they want to have children. It really doesn't matter, and it isn't our place to say why or with what reasons are valid. I think when we start to cross to that line of like, okay, for example, my personal beliefs may be different to what yours are, but those beliefs end at the borders of my body, and I'm only responsible for that. I can't, look at your colleague and say, okay, I don't support abortion, so you shouldn't get an abortion.
Right.
That's then, stepping into a very dangerous territory of oppression. So, yeah, I absolutely believe that it should be legalized.
And I think it's a
so
very
that it's
nice
safe.
subject to discuss as well.
Oh yeah. I think I don't think it's a dicey subject. I think it's a subject that should be widely discussed. I think it's a subject that people should actually know, be aware. Of course, there are pros and cons. I mean, there'll be pros and...
We should actually get her here for an entire program and discuss a topic like that.
We should.
Yeah.
Here's another question that actually popped up quickly. This one before we move on. As a CIS woman,
Cis.
cis? Okay,
woman.
right. Interesting. He's a CIS. Do you think transgender women, I suppose, has any place in Miss Universe pageant? It's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I can definitely answer that. As I mentioned earlier, Miss Universe pageant is now very inclusive and they allow transgender women to take part. You have to be biologically and legally certified as a woman, and that's about it. And personally, I think whether pageant or not, I fully feel like there is a space for transgender communities in the wider feminist movement, and that is what intersectionality is all about, which just is a principle. It's like we're not free unless we're all free. So I think that for self-expression, again, for representation of those communities, I would be very, very excited for a transgender woman to be part of Miss Sri Lanka's Miss Universe pageant.
Okay, Sonali, now there is a voting process to get you there, and here we are basically egging everybody on to vote for you as to exactly how it's supposed to be done. So we're going to quickly pop it up on the screen right now. Everybody watching us right now, this is how you can actually vote for Sonali. You got to follow Miss Universe Sri Lanka on Instagram and Miss Universe Sri Lanka on TikTok. You got to go to Miss Universe Sri Lanka Facebook page and like the contestant, and Sonali's contestant number is number 9. You have to like Asia Corp Insurance Brokers Facebook page, and you can follow the Asia Corp Insurance on Instagram. So those are the places we can actually go on over and vote for Sonali for Miss Universe, Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe. Contestant number 9, voting deadline is on the 27th of September, Friday. I am presuming it's 2 p.m. So I'm presuming it's 2 p.m. It just says 2. So we'll think it's 2
a.m. or 2 p.m. 2
You pick. So Sonali, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Let us know.
I think earlier better. No, just get it up.
So AM it is.
The wee hours of the morning. Wee hours of the morning.
Wake up in a
Think about me, please.
wee hours of the morning. Think about Sonali. There you go.
Yeah, think about
That's the line.
Sonali, go back to bed.
Number 9. Okay, Sonali, before we let you go, we have something for you. I mean, hypothetically speaking, we would like to basically transform ourselves into pageant announcers, and just think that you are actually in the top 3. Okay, and as always, they get some of the most ridiculous questions to actually ask, and we also basically have no idea where these questions come from, but we'd like to put on that hat. We would like to ask those ridiculous questions
Mock
for
interview,
you.
mock interview.
Yeah, mock interview, just getting you prepared.
Should I get a mock mic?
Yeah, do that. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, do that. All right. Okay, Sonali, this is your first question. If you could have any superpower to help you in this competition, what would it be and why?
Thank you so much, esteemed judges, for this opportunity.
Oh,
If I could have any super...
Go on. You got to be in character. You can't laugh here.
I can't lose composure, exactly. So maybe that would be my superpower. My superpower, I wish it was the ability to be composed throughout it all, regardless of any adversity, regardless of anything that's being put in front of me. I hope that I can be composed so that I can be my best self. Thank you.
Sonali, that's a
Bravo!
Wonderful answer. But we're not done yet. Let's move on to the second question right now. Okay, what's the one quirky?
You're just having too much fun.
We are. We're having more fun than you. What's one quirky talent or skill you have that would surprise everyone who's actually watching?
I know when I answer this, I'm going to have a follow-up question. So I'm just going to state no follow-up questions. I can make bird noises. I can do one bird noise and show you. I can make bird noises.
okay.
Maybe I'll show you one.
Yes.
Demonstrate.
There are millions of people watching you right now.
I told you. This is. I knew there was going to be a follow-up question. Yeah, show me the bird noise. Okay. It's like a small bird noise.
I'm sorry, what
that a
bird? What
pigeon?
bird was that? Please describe that bird.
It's a pigeon.
It's like I don't know. It's a little.
Hummingbird?
I forgot the name, but no, I'll do it again.
It,
It's
a
better
pigeon.
when you do it
No,
loud.
no, that sounds like a koha in distress.
It's a pigeon.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a pigeon.
and parayati kara. Parayida ka podi ka.
All right, next question. Here you go. Next one. If you could swap lives with any fictional character for a day, who would it be and what would you do?
If I could swap lives with any fictional character, it would be Coraline. I know that's a very dark cartoon, and I don't know how that's a children's movie because it's actually like a horror movie. But I really enjoy her character. I really relate to her angsty young adult expression. I feel like I was exactly like that, and very rebellious, very outspoken, and did venture off into the wild on my own. Did struggle with that wilderness and like trying to find her sense of footing. So I really like that, even though it's dark and kind of horror. And yeah, I really enjoyed the adventure in that. So yeah, and I really enjoy how brave she was in the other world. So it's cool.
Yeah, you're ticking all the right boxes on the way to the finals, I must say.
Fantastic mock interview.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, here we go. Next question. Are we into the final question, I think? We got one more. Imagine you're hosting a dinner party with 3 famous people, dead or alive. Who would you invite and what Sri Lankan dish would you serve them?
Okay, let's start with the menu because I think you have to have that ready if you're inviting people. I think I'd go like the dish of my life is a batamoju. I feel like that's like really, I crave that. If I'm away from Sri Lanka, I crave that when I come back. Sambo, it's a good shout. But I don't know if this goes with the batamoju, so this is maybe like not the best, but I think ambultial is my other favorite. Like those are my iconic dishes. I'll serve them. And who would I invite to this dinner? I would definitely invite Minette de Silva because she is the icon of my life. Anytime somebody asks me, like, okay, who would you like to emulate? Or I actually even did a shoot in 2019 where they were like focusing on feminists and women leaders, and I had to recreate some of her pictures, which was phenomenal. I think she's just incredible. She's the first female architect and also the first female architect to ever be inducted into the Royal Institute of Architecture in Britain. She's well ahead of her time, and she's just phenomenal. She's so interesting. The other 2, I just keep them around just for like, maybe comedy, just like for the vibes. So they'd have to be like fun ones,
Shaq and Christian.
Andy.
He's gonna not be able to stop judging. He's just gonna be asking questions to everyone. You don't want your house guests being
you and I.
Yeah, you don't want your house guests being interrogated. So I don't know if you invite. But I'll invite Dave Patel.
Oh,
He's my future husband. He just doesn't know it yet. So that would be probably how we would meet each other.
right, okay.
And the last person.
By serving batamoju. That's the right way
There
to
you
go
go.
about. Yeah. You're making all the right strides here to get a hold of Dave Chappelle, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay, Shaq, you can come for dinner. Fine if you.
Yeah, okay. Oh, thanks, Sonali. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much
Two
appreciated.
side stools for me and Christian.
Yeah, you got you.
Thanks.
Okay, here's your final question. If you were running for president of Sri Lanka, what would your symbol and campaign slogan be, Sonali?
If I was running for president of Sri Lanka, plot twist, in 8 years I am. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Maybe. You never know, Imagine this clip plays back. My symbol would be... Do we have peacock? Is a peacock take? No, there's no peacocks, no? No, I'd go with a phoenix. And my slogan would be... We rise, something like that. Like out of the ashes, out of this economic crisis dust, we emerge.
Oh.
Maybe that.
I hope.
I have already tattooed her slogan on my arm. Done now?
Oh,
Done.
really?
Vote for you. Vote for you.
Oh! All right, lovely. All right, Sonali, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Sonali, I hope and pray by the time you decide to become, campaigning for presidency, that we would have risen
Yeah.
by that time at least. So yeah,
Yeah.
It would be we have risen now.
We will continue to rise.
Anna. English people, continue to rise.
That's good.
Sonali, thank you so much for being with us on the show today. We want to wish you all the very best. Hopefully next time we actually have a chat with you, you will be representing Sri Lanka for Miss Universe, and all the very best and good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you
Good
so
luck.
much. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Sure. Thanks so much. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was such a fun interview.
Yeah, I know. So remember, contestant number 9. Can we just have that up on the screen one more time? If you want to vote for Sonali, this is what you need to do. You got to follow Miss Universe Sri Lanka on Instagram, Miss Universe Sri Lanka on TikTok, on Facebook, and of course, like Asia Corp Insurance Brokers Facebook page. We forgot the end there. That's fine. But and you can also follow the Instagram page ACIG, and please vote for contestant number 9. That's Sonali Silva, contestant number 9. All right. Okay, so oh my God, we're almost done with the show.
Yeah, I know.
We're done
That
with
went
the
really
show.
fast. Huh? Today
We
did really fast.
Very fast, and
Yeah.
great interview with Sonali. Thank you so much. But
I love the bird noises.
yeah, that was for sure a koha in distress. Okay, time for us to actually finish off the show with the alphabet game, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have a punishment for today?
Oh.
chose this vanilla punishment.
What
A
that?
vanilla punishment.
It's to eat 2 raw cloves of garlic.
Ooh, okay. Eat
I
two
better be winning
raw
this.
cloves of garlic. That's the part. Chew 2 clove of raw garlic.
So kamak ne.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
Christian.
Christian's
start.
going to start because he was not there last week. Right. As usual, he basically gave us a dead rope.
Okay.
All right. Let's go.
Name 4 songs. Titles begin with J. Just as you are. Just a closer walk. Jump.
Yeah. One more.
Jailhouse Rock.
What was the second song? You just made that up. What was the second called?
Just a closer walk.
Just the what?
That's a hymn.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Yeah.
A very popular hymn.
Just a closer walk with thee.
Yeah.
Oh. It's not a song, it's a hymn.
Yeah, but it goes on radio.
But they sing it as a song. There you go.
Well done, Christian. Well done.
All right.
I got a strange feeling garlic's for me today. Okay, who is this? Chris, Andy, you? Name 4 types of skin disease beginning with R. Andy, it's you. Rash.
Rabies.
Rabies is not skin disease.
Rash.
And a rash.
Rash 2.
Round rash. Kasana rash.
Ringworm rash. And rash. Who made that? Give me the garlic. What the question is that? Rash.
Yeah. So rash A, rash B,
Ringworm rash.
C, rash D.
No. Kihille rash. Kihille rash. Kapule rash. Kalisse rash. Everything bare.
All right, okay. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, what do I have? Name 4 Sri Lankan kings with them beginning with D. Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Duty
Disanayaka.
Disanayaka. Krishna, you're going to help me out here. Duty Gamanu.
Right.
Then you have...
Do.
yeah, do. Yeah. Oh my... No, man. So, I'm
Junior?
done. No, done. Christian?
You tell me.
Give it.
Devanam Petis.
Devian Vanse.
Dharma Kirti.
That is your marks, school marks. Dharma Kirti.
None of us know. None of us know.
You know what?
Yeah.
Never mind. You go.
Yeah, Christian's just got it. Okay.
You
Christian,
just give me
go.
each like 1 clove each.
Name 4 languages begin with S. Spanish, Swedish, Sinhala, and Slovakian.
No?
Slovakian.
Yeah.
Slovakian.
Yeah.
4. I got it.
I
Yay!
don't know.
Here?
Is there a
Here? This year 5 scholarship paper? Okay.
Slovakian.
Slovakian.
Oh, this is easy.
Name 4 capital cities beginning with C. Oh, sorry. Colombo.
Colombo's not a capital city.
Capital. Oh, ekane C. Tell me one. Cairo?
Yeah?
Oh, yes. 1. Oh, got 3 more. C.
7.
I can't remember anything.
Kong Hong?
Okay, you know what? Give me that garlic and I can't remember now. It's too late in the night to remember C things. I can tell you other things. C for cat.
Oh, okay.
Kangkong?
Name, again, movie titles for me beginning with E.
E.
Oh my god.
That's
E.
a tough one.
E.T.?
Okay.
How many movie titles?
4.
4.
Yeah, this is savage.
Yeah. E.
You want it harder? That's what she said. Oh. E. E.T.
Elm Street Nightmare.
And Shaq, one more.
What? End of the road? What?
Thai strikes back.
Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Yay! Winner. Come on, Christian.
Yeah. Well done, Christian. Since you're the winner,
Enough, huh?
yeah,
You
well
can
done.
eat both the cloves.
No,
Yeah.
you eat one each.
Can't. I have gastritis. I might conquer.
No, but I think these questions are pretty good. I think they're pretty good questions.
You don't like us.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good questions.
doesn't
as a
like
matter of
us.
fact. Yeah. So
Alright.
okay. So
I
basically,
am not eating that clove and bringing us.
Come on, Andy.
I have gastritis.
That's okay, Andy. You gotta have one. You gotta have one.
I'm going to just.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What is she doing? Oh, okay.
Okay. Right. Andy, you gotta have one. You just bite it. You gotta have one. I'm gonna have the other one.
I got a gunai. Don't make sure you don't talk with the bear.
Just eat the whole thing.
No, can't.
Put it in the back of your throat and swallow.
Well, great show. Especially after a long day of work, 15 hours later, fantastic. I have monkey and Okay. Not kissing anyone tonight.
Okay. And then
Your 3-wheel dude will run away.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
I can't actually. Guess that.
You swallow it.
we are waiting for you.
Can't help it.
No, can't. I
We are not
can't.
finishing.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, guys. We're almost done with the show, and it's about time for us to basically head out. Again, before we say good night, Sri Lanka. Remember, Sri Lanka is basically pipped for one of the most important elections of our lifetime. Please go. Please vote. Please do not stay home and decide not to vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. At the end of the day, make your decision. You don't have to rely on somebody else to actually decide on who you need to vote for. It's whoever you think is the right person for you, for what you envision this country to be in the next 5 years or 10 years. If you feel any of the individuals out there is the right candidate for you to vote for, please do make sure you actually exercise your democratic right. It is your democratic right to vote. So please, please, please vote.
With that, and our garlic in hand. Adios.
Go.
Have yourself a wonderful weekend, guys. We shall be back with you next Thursday, and when we are back, we will have a brand new president sitting in our wonderful country.
Bye bye.
Have a good night, Sri Lanka. Take care. Bye bye.